Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to get started now. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name's Keenan Hendrickse. I'm the Speaker of the Student Parliament. I am the Student Co-Chair for this evening's proceedings. We'd like to keep this meeting as informal as possible while just trying to respect each other. The purpose of this meeting, as we hopefully all know, is to discuss the Rhodes Statue. We know that it speaks to broader issues as well. But the goal is really to hear the voices of all individuals, or as many individuals as possible, and the views. What is going to be important here is just that we might disagree with views that are said here, but it's important for us to respect those views and to provide a safe space for people to be able to articulate those views. With that in mind, however, it's going to be important that when we do express our views, that we aren't belligerent or abusive to others. So that's going to be important in today's proceedings. In terms of the process going forward, firstly, we will have the SRC President addressing us, just speaking about some of his, or rather the SRC's views on the statue. The Vice Chancellor will then speak. Both of them will speak for 7 minutes. And then we're going to open the floor up to hear all of your voices. Each person will get 3 minutes to express their views, to comment, to speak, either speak to views expressed by either the SRC President or the Vice Chancellor, or to express what they feel is appropriate. With that in mind, I'd like to then, and just to say finally that this is a university, it's a space where ideas matter. I'm going to ask us not to attack each other and to attack people personally, but to vigorously and quite robustly attack and debate. So ideas rather than people. Ideas, that is. So there will be no attacking here. So thank you so much. I then hand over to my co-chair to say a few things as well.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. My name is Barney Pikiana. I'm a former student of the University of Cape Town, and I have the honor to be your co-chair this evening. I have the privilege of being an alumnus of this university, and I'm here at the invitation of the university as president of convocation. The first thing I want to say is that I'm actually very proud to be here. I'm very proud of the engagement that has been going on at this university, and I think it's historic. It's a historic moment. I know that there will be a time when we all remember the significant events in our time at university.
Chair.
So it's a historic
Co-chair.
moment. And
Co-chairperson.
therefore I am here really as much as possible
Co-chairperson.
to facilitate
Keenan.
discussion and debate, and to
Keenan.
participate in this, to make sure that
Keenan.
this is a wonderful evening. Thank you.
I will recognize Mr. Sokutu.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. chairperson of this session. I just want to check, man. I heard the gentleman next to you introducing himself as Prof. Bani Pichan, if I heard correctly. And if that's the case, it's a bit problematic for me as a student, registered, of course, in this university. In terms of, Chair, I need your 100% attention. I don't need you to listen to me and the gentleman next to you. 100% attention. So that this process can go very well. I want to check, Chair, because when the Vice Chancellor communicated the process that the university will be following in dealing with this issue, he did mention that it's an intention to get all views and it must be objective as far as possible. So we want to, as students, get into this process knowing that this is not just a tick and go, that no, we did consult, as it has been done before. It has been done before. Now, Chair, if the fellow introduced himself as Bani Pichan, having read an article that he wrote expressing Chair, because I want to quickly finish so that we can start with this program. Yes. But just one request, man, can we attempt to respect each other in this process? Yes. Because I'm sure you are aware it's test week, we've sacrificed a lot. I don't see anything that would warrant someone to smile in what I'm saying. So can Bani Pichana stop smiling in what he's doing? We're not joking here. No, we're not. I'm serious.
Okay.
So I'm saying, given his input, his views on the matter, that he actually wants the statue to stay. Even if, by the way, he had other views, but given the fact that he has expressed his views on the matter, it would not be correct that he becomes part of the process of presiding over this meeting. So, Chair,
Okay, thank you. Can we just allow Mr. Sokutu to finish, please?
So, my proposal is that Prof. Bani Pichana, he comes, there's a nice seat here next to me, he can come here. Then we have a person who would not compromise this session like he is right now. He's compromising the session. We know he has a mandate. He has something that he must, he has a mandate, he has been told, go and do A, B, and C. But it's not going to happen in this meeting. He must just come here, and then we replace him with another chair. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sokutu. Thank you.
Chairperson, co-chairperson, may you please be respected, co-chairperson. Do you acknowledge me? You recognize me, co-chairperson?
Yes, Mr. Somia.
Thank you very much, co-chairperson. There's a problem here, co-chairperson. And I'm pleading, please, co-chairperson, I'm writing 2 tests tomorrow. I don't want us to waste time with responses and debates here. I'm writing 2 tests. So since he's a member of convocation, chairperson, I have a proposal. There are other members of convocation out here. that are able to take up his place. In fact, the Honorable Mr. Sokutu has showed him his seat. It's open. There are actually 2 seats here. I personally would recommend a person who understands the entire university structure, who has sat on committees in the institution, who understands the institutional knowledge of this university, a person who has been on SRC at this university, by the way, and even now is currently a member of the convocation. So I think the only person I see here is Mr. Chikane, and I would respect that decision, Chairperson. And Chairperson, if democracy reigns in this university, I propose that it be sent to a vote in this hall, or not, because currently, this Professor Panepikan is compromised. We've acknowledged that it's a fact. There's a person in this hall who has not shown his own personal interest in this matter, and then we would dearly, please, we request the university to please take up on our recommendation. In fact, it's a proposal to adopt this member of convocation as co-chairperson of the sitting.
Thank you, Mr. Somia, for that. If you can just give the co-chairs a few seconds to consult with each other, because we are co-chairing. No one can topple each other here. Okay, thank you. We really want to get into the debate, but a few very important issues have been raised. A few things have been said. We're not going to turn this into a dialogue between the professor and members of the audience, but just for a minute, I'm going to allow the professor to exercise his right of reply just very quickly, and no other views will be shared by the professor. Okay.
Chair, no.
Okay, Mr. Sokutu. Yes.
Chair, we're here for
Mr.
one reason.
Sokutu.
We're here for one reason.
Yes.
To debate the matter at bay.
Okay. Mr.
We
Sokutu.
don't want to waste
Yes.
time listening to the professor. This is not
Okay.
a court where he wants to respond.
Okay.
We are saying that we want another person to co-chair with you, a member of convocation, Chikan. There is no debate here. The cadre must just come down and we continue with the program. No.
Thank you, Mr. Sokutu. What I was going to say was that what the professor is going to say is going to solve the problem that you raised, but I'll let him say it for himself.
I need to say that the allegations that were made are factually untrue, that my engagement on this matter has never said that Rhodes Statue must stay. Everything I've said was that it is very, very important that we raise the issues at all levels in the context of engaging in a debate. My point is that it is in fact incumbent upon us as a university community to actually consider all the issues and think about them, and particularly to have a very creative and critical and intelligent view about history, how we handle it. And therefore, to the extent that this is a transformation issue, I am on record and said that the students and staff and the management of UCT are actually cutting new ground on the issues of transformation. The final thing I want to say, like I have said again and again, the only reason for being here is to facilitate debate and discussion, to be as helpful as I can. If in the mind of anybody, my presence is not helpful, I'm more than happy to step down.
Okay. We don't want to hold procedures any further. Mr. Chikane, would you please come up?
Amandla! My name is Rhodes Statue. Some people may call me Khotsi as well because they struggle, but it's fine. We're here to have a discussion about a statue that has plagued students on campus, that has split the campus, that has divided us for no reason. For no reason. Racism shouldn't be something that divides us. We should be unified against it. So today's discussion is for us to engage on this issue, to expose those who are racist in this institution because they are here. But most importantly, we're going to have a discussion that for the first time, students are actively participating in because they've been allowed to speak truthfully. So once again, my name is Rhodes Statue. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. At the end of these proceedings, Mr. Chikane and I will just wrap things up after we've heard all of your views. First of all, I would like to very excitedly welcome our SRC President, Mr. Ramabina Mahapa.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'd like to greet everybody. You know, to relieve some anxiety, I won't be walking out, yeah? Because I know that there are a bit of anxieties and so I'm here to engage. The SRC is here to engage. But then it must be said that because we've been getting a lot of criticisms about working out the last time, some of the students on campus feel can the door be open, please? Thank you very much.
Okay, just so that we can note, we knew that it was going to get a bit full in here, so there is an overflow facility in the Molly Blackburn Hall, just to ensure that all of us can watch the proceedings. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let me continue as I was nicely interrupted. As I was saying, there are certain students who feel that the university has worked out on them. And at times, working out is justified. Imagine that student who's facing financial exclusion, and the university is not providing the necessary funds for them to be able to continue their studies. Some of us feel that then it is the university working out. Imagine those students who have mental disorders on campus. The university not providing the essential services for them to be able to succeed in this study. That's the university working out on them. Imagine those students who are being put in a male residence, whereas they identify as a female. That is a case of a student that feeling that the university is working out on them. So even as the SRC, we felt that our voices were not being heard. Therefore, we walked out. Because these issues are not new. The issues that we are raising are not new. In my own case, last year I wrote quite extensively on issues of symbolism, on why it is problematic to have that statue there. The issues have always been raised, but the feeling was that the university has continued to respond in the same way by saying Rhodes donated money or land to the institution, therefore we have to pay homage or glorify him with a statue. And that we find as utterly unacceptable. It will be quite interesting if, for a very long time, people sort of equate, transformation with, mediocrity. And especially when you're saying, let us increase the black academics, let us increase black students. I said once before that I'm saying, let us actually have a complete review of all the people that are professors in this institution without PhDs. Then, let us have that assessment. Let us begin to question white mediocrity, because it exists in both cases. And as the SRC, we are saying, let us have a complete review of the institutional symbolism on campus. It is not only the statue that is problematic. This very same wall is very much problematic. Look around you, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the four corners. What do you see? Do you see a black person? Do you see an Indian? Do you see a colored person? When graduations are being held, there's a Latin song that we always sing and we're coming here. We can't identify with that song. Our living and learning spaces should be diverse and inclusive for all. Do not bring up the issue of let us preserve our heritage. When you created that heritage, we were not here. We were excluded from being here. So, as I come to my closing, we need to create a different narrative in this institution. The institutional symbolism needs to be inclusive. The institutional culture needs to be inclusive. We need more black lecturers. My grandmother always says that you cannot teach a man born blind what the color red looks like, because he doesn't have the experience of it. And that is the calamity that we are facing. That some of our brothers who happen to be white do not understand our circumstance, no matter how hard we try to explain to them, because they lack the experience of it. We should be creating a campus where all the rights, the respects, and the opportunities are equal to all. That is the campus that we envision, the campus that we want to create, where we don't have institutional racism, where everything is inclusive and diverse, where we are able to contribute to the development of this institution and be able to be recognized that we have contributed to the development of this institution. We need to be creating that. But as we engage, let us ensure that our engagements and the discussions do not wrongfully manifest into hate and anger. Because then we're not going to go anywhere as an institution. And as an SRC, we have said that we will engage, we will attend those committees because we're working towards a certain goal. We're working towards the 8th of April. On top of that, we are working towards radical transformation of this institution, and that will happen. Thank you very much.
I would like to welcome the next speaker to the platform, Dr. Max Price.
This is a terrific turnout. I don't think I have attended a session like this, which has been so wonderfully supported by such a representative group of students and staff. And so, first of all, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank the students that have triggered this protest, because it's only because of the vigorous protest that we have this kind of engaged discussion this evening. So, I want you to know, some of you might think that management or myself or the executive are the enemy. We see ourselves as fighting for the same cause, fighting towards the same goal, and we want to make sure that we have joint ownership of this project. That is not seen, transformation is not seen as a management project. Wait, I'm going to switch on my timer, otherwise I might run out. That transformation is not seen as a management project, and it's also not seen as a management resisting. It's something we all own. I want to quickly recount, I've issued a number of statements, and so I think most of you will have read both what my personal position is and what now the senior management of the university, that means the deans, the executive directors, the transformation services officer, the planning and development office, the deputy vice chancellors, we are all of one view, and we've expressed that. And so I'm not going to take a long time to repeat that. We are putting a proposal to all the constituencies, and this is one of those. This student assembly is one of those. We will put the same proposal to the Senate on Friday. We are putting that proposal to the non-academic staff tomorrow morning. We will put it to a group, a special meeting of convocation in about 10 days' time, and we will put it to council. And that proposal is that the Rhodes Statue should be removed from its current place. I think that this was a proposal that was actually, has been a long time in the making, but I accept and recognize Mr. Mahape's initiative that he took again last year when he wrote an article in a letter, talked about the artworks in the university, he talked about the statues and the various names of buildings, and really as a response to that, although many of us had been concerned and uncomfortable with these symbols, had not thought that they were of such high priority that they needed to be tackled ahead of things like pass rates and throughput, ahead of things like financial aid and housing. Those things had been preoccupying us. The statues and the symbols had not. And what Mr. Mahape highlighted was the need for urgency. We started that process. And in the course of the student protests, that has been massively accelerated. But this is only the beginning. The Rhodes Statue, hopefully the council will agree to moving it, but that will be the first of a discussion of other symbols. Chair, do you want to protect me, or shall I just speak over them? If they want to leave.
Amanda! 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 Let us allow the Vice Chancellor to finish. He only has 4 minutes. So that when he finishes, as students, we can start engaging. Because we have heard the Vice Chancellor speak and he sent his letter over and over again. But this is our platform as students to speak. So let's allow students to have their voices heard.
So the purpose of this is the start. And once we have addressed firstly the issue of the statue, we will certainly commit to the program which Mr. Mahape also hinted at, which was an extensive review of symbols and names of buildings. This is not something that is on the back burner, it is now on the front burner. We will tackle it. And we have also come to listen. The purpose of this event, I don't know if it was made clear, was that we will not be responding to anything. We will all be listening. We want to hear the views. We want to hear all of the views. But I think that the task of a university leadership, the council and the Vice Chancellor and the Deputy Vice Chancellors is to recognize that it's not helpful if this process becomes one which is divisive, one which fragments the university, and one which leaves a whole lot of people behind because we've not actually expressed our views on justifying positions, simply to make a demand without explaining. And in this case, it will be the statue, but next time it will be the name of Jameson Hall. Next time it will be other statues or other symbols. What I think we need collectively to do is to make sure that of the two paths we could take, the path that polarizes the campus versus the path that unites and creates understanding, that we create understanding and that we create greater unity and that we tackle this problem together. That's what this meeting is about, and that's what the process should be about going into the future. Finally, I want to say that we also recognize this is only one small element of transformation. It's important in its own right, and the university wants once again to involve everyone in discussing the issues of staff transformation, of institutional culture, of curricula. We welcome the participation. I do not think you will find that you have to bash down the door. I think you will find that the door is open and that there is enthusiasm and that we need the ideas of students and staff to help us make this work.
Thank you. Now, our role, once again, is to facilitate this debate. Mr. Chikane and I have made our views on the matter abundantly clear, so we want to hear your views. We're going to note 6 hands at a time. Each of us are going to be posted at each of the ends of the stage, and we'll take 6 hands to begin with. If you can all come to the front and stand at the mic when we've noted you. Alec, please stand. And the hand right in the balcony, on the balcony. Yeah.
Are they speaking from the front to the side?
Okay. Okay. So you're on that. You're on that. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amira Conrad, and I'm a fourth-year theatre-making student in the BA Theatre and Performance stream at Hidding Campus. This might seem somewhat out of place, but as a member of the Performing and Creative Arts, we, as the constituency of Hidding Campus, believe that it's important to engage with issues through dialogue in performance and creative means, as opposed to just trying to knock one another out on social media platforms. And thank you. And it is for this reason that I have, after myself being bashed on social media platforms for my stance in this process, have written a poem called On Exhaustion Over a Lack of Understanding. I am tired. God Almighty, I am tired of being told that we need to move on, that we need to forget, that we need to put the past behind us, and that apartheid is over. They don't understand. We never will. Our bodies are monuments of centuries of torture, trauma, terror. These exist within us. We live it every day. We built this country. Slaves, whips at our backs. The man holding the whip did not build, we built. Apartheid is not over. No magic TRC wand can bippity-boppity boo it away. Our glass carriage is still in pumpkin, rotting, being pulled by rats. A polite revolution over tea and crumpets, good sirs. 'Twas the order of the day. When could we mourn? When could we cry? When could we scream for our loved ones lost and our chances trampled on? Please, Master, Baas, Meneer, asseblief, gee my 'n kans om te huil. Vir my pa en my ma en my susters en my broers. Gee my 'n kans om te huil. Let me stand up for myself and for those who stood before me. Let me march for myself and for those who marched before me. Let me call out Amandla and raise my fist and let me cry after hundreds of years. Let me cry.
If we can take our seats. No, we are fair chairs, and sometimes when someone needs to express themselves, they must be able to express themselves. But they also mustn't abuse the time.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, before I make my points, I just have to express to this entire hall that as a student, I think it's important that we do this, but I stand up here also fearing. I'm fearing because on Monday, there were 3 students who were attacked in Bremner by G4S supervisors in the presence of the registrar of the university. He saw the whole attack happen. He did not once try to stop it. He did not once try to protect the students. And when we approached him about it, he says, they're just doing their jobs. I don't think the job of the campus security is to assault students, but to protect them. I brought up this issue at the institutional forum yesterday, where the Vice Chancellor and the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Crane Sudeen, were present. And we asked them to deal with this issue with urgency. And to this day, not a single thing has been said. Not a single thing has been said from the Vice-Chancellor. I did express to the Vice-Chancellor that it wasn't enough, that the registrar is being evacuated from Azania House. But also, I'm here because the Vice-Chancellor won't come with the solution. I will present one for him. I want to propose for the suspension of the registrar for allowing an attack on students when he's supposed to be protecting students. This cannot be happening in the when the senior management of the university is present, then we don't feel protected. I guess then if somebody storms in here and attacks me, the Vice-Chancellor will just sit down and say they're doing their job. Moving on, I'd just like to read something. And this is a post that was on Facebook, that was written by a UCT student. What is with these people? All you're trying to do is rid the country of anything that has to do with history. If it isn't for Rhodes, you wouldn't have a university to go to. Wouldn't you call for the removal of Mandela's statue because he was responsible for countless murders and deaths during the so-called struggle years? But no, you wouldn't demand that because he is black. You only want things that concern white people in history. You would all still be running around in loincloths, in the bush, and living in mud huts, because as history has proven that black tribes were nomadic, and in fact have never built anything worth calling a city or a town. For that matter, all you have ever done is go around and rape and pillage different tribes. You came across now that you are demolishing South Africa as a whole and raping and pillaging everything the white man has built now. Now you start with his history. Just remember that without the white man and what he has built in South Africa, you would in fact have nothing except mud huts and loincloths. So why don't you use the university education and fight for something worthwhile like true democracy and government that is not riddled in corruption and nepotism? But no, you won't because you are black, and after all, you voted them in power, didn't you? Your parents spent their hard-earned money sending you to uni so you can act like idiots instead of seeing what's right in front of your eyes, a government that's ruining your future. And one question that I'd like to pose to the Vice-Chancellor is that, is it fair for people who are so motivated by hate to take part in this process? These are people we're sitting in the lecture theater with. Is it fair for them to take part in this process? And finally, I'd like to say that we are aware that the management of the university is currently coercing the SRC into decisions. It must be clear that we'll protect our SRC.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bevan Willoughby. I'm a first-year humanities student. And the university is divided. It is. And it's divided because of a fear. But I'd like to tell my white peers at this university that transformation is not something to fear. Transformation is progress. Transformation is something that we need to go through to enrich humanity. Something that we need to address. When I was in grade 11, I was fortunate enough to have a few experiences that helped me to come to terms with my inner prejudice. And I found something, and I think this is applicable to everyone, white, non-white, everyone in this audience. I think it's applicable to you. I found that I have prejudice programmed onto my subconscious. I found that prejudice is something that's within me, and it's something I can't erase from the inside, from my inner core. I can't get rid of it, but I can stop myself in acting in prejudiced ways. Now, I've often wondered, how do I prevent my children from inheriting that prejudice that I inherited? Now, I used to think that the only way I could do that, the best way, was to stop myself acting in prejudice prejudice forms. But that's not enough. That's not enough, because you see, when a little child walks into Jameson Hall and they see only white academics on the wall, they associate academic success to being white. I want to change that. I want to change that, and I want my white peers to understand that it's not something to fear. It's something that one day I can bring my children into Jameson Hall, and they can see that if you want to succeed in academics, you can be white, black, Indian, colored, Christian, Muslim, everything. Transformation needs to happen, and it needs to be carried through to the rest of South Africa. Thank you.
This university doesn't protect black students. This university protects white privilege and white supremacy. When Khumani Makwele threw shit at the statue, the university was very quick to condemn him and release a long statement about all the rules and that he's broken and the distaste that they have for what he has done. But I'd like to read you something, and it's available to everybody on Facebook. Everybody trolls people's account, especially Rhodes Must Fall. So I'll read you this, and these are the people that I have to share a classroom with, sit in a tutorial with, but they feel this way about us as black students. This student says, "This is what happens when the monkeys are allowed to run things." And there's a cartoon with a monkey taking a dump. Then they say, what in hell are the blacks talking about their history? Do they even have a written language or history, or libraries to house their history? Stupid monkeys. And you wonder why this is still tolerated. This is blatant racism. And we don't get a statement. We don't get an acknowledgement. We get nothing. When are black lives going to matter to this university? When are our lives going to matter? Thank you.
This is an expansion on the point that Mase raised about white violent voices in transformational spaces. Seen on Facebook, in reply to the Rhodes Must Fall movement and its predominantly black constituents. Uncultured pigs. Then they'll go eat a millie with those same filthy hands, then throw the cob on the floor. They say pigs have the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. These are just savages. These are voices in this space. These are voices within this transformational discourse, and I don't understand how it is not problematic that we are trying to privilege these voices. I don't understand how voices can be facilitated through the Have Your Say boards when no one is being held accountable for the racist vitriol that they are spilling all over us. I cannot breathe. So I asked management, is this the narrative that you would like to be complicit in perpetuating for the black constituents of this university?
Okay, thank you. For the sake of time, we've also, because we want as many people as possible to talk, so we're giving everyone 2 minutes to speak. We'll note some hands. There's a hand right at the back. Yes, yes.
We've got a hand over here in the front.
Andrew.
Todd.
And the
Just come and stand behind Ulwazi.
hand right at the back upstairs. Sorry for pointing. And the gentleman on my left. Yes.
Just so we are all clear, this, and I know, can I have your attention? Just so we're all clear, this is a meeting of students and staff. The thing that students have complained about is that staff are afraid to speak out about transformation at the university. Yes. And it would be a shame if this space isn't given to the staff as well to feel comfortable to speak. And if you don't feel comfortable to speak, we understand, and we understand your pain, but we need you to speak as well. We've got the gentleman in the glasses.
Adam.
Please come to the front.
I have one. Okay. Some people are asking why the Wi-Fi is off. My Wi-Fi is working, but can we just continue, please? This. Okay. Can we have order, please? Please. Thank you.
Molweni. Kubuhlungu lamhlanje ngizothetha isiXhosa because inhlungu yami ndisiva ngesiXhosa. Mhla uCecil Rhodes efika kumhlaba wase-Eastern Cape eMpuma Koloni. Wathi kwi-Glen Grey Act abantu abamnyama sizi-tools, andinazi lo gama mna because andiotool mna. Kodwa lamhlanje le university ndenza i-tool. Ndifika apha ndiqokelele amatyala. Ndifika apha ndixelelwa zii-lecturers alapha I'm not capable. I am capable of getting this degree if you didn't know. But lamhlanje kubuhlungu when I read a student I will not name because naye ngumntu ngokungandiboni mna. Uthi kum ku-Facebook, you can take them out of the bush, but you obviously can't take the bush out of them. Morons. Andiyazi noba ngubani moron apha phakathi kum naye. Ndifuna uthi ke klo moron aphi khoyo ndilapha ndizoyifumana le degree ndizoyenza i-PhD ndizoba yiprofessor.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Advocate C.S. Ncube. It seems the title is these days you can just give it to yourself or your friends can. I will be brief. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, or is it last week? I think it's the other week. There were some SWAT stickers that were posted on the pillars of this particular hall, Jameson. And faces of Hitler, apparently, okay, the allegations say they were without context. And the soldiers, SAUJS, something like that, right? Those are the Jewish students. When they saw that, quickly the phone calls were sent to, called the management, and UCT responded within 30 minutes. And within 30 minutes, the university responded, DSA, etc., and that it should be addressed. And quickly, a meeting was summoned for a group of students called Black Monday to the SRC to come and discuss it with 2 Jewish students, I would like to believe, or 2 students that were representing Sauj, right? And apparently they are saying the SWAT stickers were some form of, I don't know, oppression or some form of hate for the Jews, right? Why I'm speaking about that is because of Hitler and C.J. Rhodes. The black students speak about C.J. Rhodes, who stands there, and who has been there for the past 3 years or for the past 10 years, standing there, who affects the black students, and the management has not done anything about that, right? The management has not done anything about that, although that man is a murderer who murdered millions and millions of Africans and perpetuated the discrimination and the oppression of our fellow comrades, of the black people, the same black people that are in this particular university. But a SWAT sticker, although I understand how offensive it is, and I understand the situation of the Jewish people, but because they have money, so the students said during that meeting, because they have money, the university was very quick to respond to that particular statement. So it is apparently black pain does not measure up to the Jewish pain. I'm not saying it is right for the Jewish people to be discriminated against, but black pain also matters. And we, the black people in this particular university, also do matter. We deserve recognition among the comrades. And we today want C.J. Rhodes to be brought down.
Amandla! Comrades, I feel traumatized. Within this safe space, in this space which is supposed to be open for us to share our experiences, I feel traumatized. Not because somebody overtly said mean things about me, not because they called me a monkey or because they insulted me in some overt manner. Because institutional racism isn't like that. It's not that easy. It's what's between the lines. It's about those educated people who use rationalization to silence your experience. And I'm not talking about some first-year person who goes to Tiger. In this moment, I'm speaking about what Max Price said earlier. He said, and I quote directly, "Be careful in moving forward that you not divide us." But in fact, we are divided. He said, in moving forward, be careful not to be leaving people behind. But we have been left behind. And this illustrates our exact point. When people are speaking of progress, they are speaking from their white perspective. Because when we speak, we are speaking about our pain and moving forward. And they are saying compromise on your emancipation because it makes us uncomfortable.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Buchule Mbobo. Ndifuna nindazi. Last week, I tuned into SAFM to Sekina's program at 8 o'clock. And the question there that she was asking was that because UCT management, the Vice Chancellor and everyone else had said that they will be having a special, a special meeting sometime in April. Why were the students then occupying the Bremner building? Azania House, why were they continuing to occupy Azania House? when the university management had said that they will be having a debate later on. But you know, I want us, and debates, of course, are important things, and as we are gathered here today to debate and talk, it is important for progressive ideas to be heard. But I want to send a warning against debates, because you see, the debates must not happen in a never-ending circle. What happens is that this is the same thing that happened during Israeli Apartheid Week, where the Vice-Chancellor keeps on saying that, no, let's have more debates, let's have more of this, let's talk more, call so-and-so to come and say. And that is an ultimate red herring, because what happens is that we never actually come to a decision and make a statement. You will see here the people today, some of them have tape over their mouths because there's no discussion to be had. It's only a decision that must be made now to say, give us the date. We want the date. We want the date. We want the date. No more discussion. People, nivile amandla ngawethu. Amandla ngawethu. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to speak without clarifying issues.
Chief, before you speak, just before we speak, so you can't just come to the front to note yourselves if you haven't been noted.
Yeah.
So please only come to the front if you've been noted by the chairs. Otherwise, everyone will just come to the front. And we can't have that. Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm a very sad student at this moment. I'm disheartened and I'm disappointed, especially pertaining to my Vice-Chancellor, Max Price. Last week, I tuned on to Power FM, which we do not have in Cape Town, where Dr. Max Price was lying to this country. Dr. Max Price quoted figures saying that we have 40% black academics in this institution. I had to tweet, well, I didn't have airtime at the time because you know us people were working class. So no, this phone is expropriated. So I went up to the academics in the institution. Since Mr. Max Price has very selective memory concerning the numbers of black academics, I have the figures here, by the way. So white people, let's start them. So white South African males, senior lecturers 76, white South African females 100, colored males 11, colored females 14, Indian male 12, Indian female 4, South African male 9, South African female 5, and then we don't enter the non-South Africans because we know they judge upon international standards. You see the standards. How does, in comparison to 176 white academics, and talk about senior lecturers alone, does approximately 40 amount to 40% of the university senior lecturers? Please, Dr. Max Price, please clarify this. Is your mathematics an issue here? We can calculate for you.
Thank you, Mr. Somia.
I'll tell you when you're at 1 minute and then I'll tell you when you're done.
Izwe lethu iAfrika izwe lethu iAfrika. One, I find it very problematic to speak here because we are done debating about white supremacy and imperialism. One, the management has made no effort to engage with us as people who have raised these issues. What they did, they've been engaging with the media, not us as black students. We've been occupying Azania House since Friday. Max Price today didn't come in because he saw us, we were there. So this is a sign to say, just by virtue of not wanting to speak to us in your own territory, you're saying that you do not see us. So just to say, I do not recognize this setting, because this setting is filled with people who have shown their racist terms towards black people, and you want us to debate our pain with you. No, it can't happen.
Mr. Earl, and then we'll move back here.
Good evening, everybody. Really, all I'm here to do is some bad news. The EBE faculty has been running a poll for the last few days, and currently out of 2,700 students, 1,100 students have voted about the removal of the statue. 60% of this 1,100 said no to the removal of the statue. Wait, allow me to... 38% said yes, 2% abstained. Now, I know that there is a strong voice for the removal of the statue, but remember that there is a responsibility for you to change the minds of the people in your lectures.
Please, can we please respect the speaker?
You cannot ignore the fact that so many students still feel...
Please respect the speaker?
You cannot ignore the fact that so many students still feel that the statue shouldn't be removed. Therefore, there is a need for discourse with your fellow students. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
No, there is a speaker's list. No. There is a speaker's list. Please raise your hand when we ask for it.
Sorry, we just want to let the academics speak.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The SRC President, the Vice Chancellor, the President of the Convocation, colleagues and comrades. I stand here as a member of staff of the University of Cape Town, but also I am a warden of a residence that through the years at UCT was seen as a Cinderella. A residence that for all intents and purposes was associated with negativity. Driven by the philosophy of black consciousness. The philosophy that says you've got one race, the human race. The philosophy that says in the distant future, we will restore to this country a humane face. The words of Stephen Bantu Biko. I would like to say in closing that the issue of the statue, the struggle that the students have taken up at the University of Cape Town, is what I call the tipping point of dealing with liberalism in this country. By liberalism, I mean both white liberalism and black liberalism. Actually, the problem of transformation in higher education is as a result of the compromise that was made at Kempton Park. So the negotiated settlement in this country created a problem. Because now students and us as academics, as people who are now in the so-called democratic space and dispensation, find it difficult because the hands of our politicians are tied because of the controversial agreements of Kempton Park. The problem is Kempton Park. Therefore, the Rhodes Statue and all colonial symbols must go. No issue about it. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to break protocol just for a second because we want to hear more voices. So I'm going to let these two people speak, but I want to take hands so they can move to the front also here. I see here the gentleman with the glasses. Yeah, Khomotso. You got the gentleman in the green jersey. Choose someone. Choose someone.
Big crowd. Big crowd.
For gender representation, the the lady at the back.
Can I squeeze in here, guys? Thank you.
If you're upstairs, you must come down. We see you, Africa is the future. Got a hand here. Yeah, please come to the front to go to your closest mic. And Africa is the future. Africa is the future, come down. We have to limit time as well. I don't want to make you feel oppressed, but we are hampered. So please do make your points. We also can't just mushroom mics just because they're there. So gentlemen, please.
My name is Sam Musker. I am a first-year student in the Faculty of Engineering. I'd like to start off by saying that I think that transforming the institution of UCT is imperative. This many years after apartheid, I think that it's unacceptable that at this university we still have such a small proportion of black lecturers, that we still don't have a representative student body, that many of the syllabi that we are taught are still very much Eurocentric. So we need to transform the institution of UCT so that this university can become a place where anybody can feel welcomed and feel like they have a place in this institution. However, I do feel that transforming the institution of UCT does not require transforming the campus of UCT. The fact is that there's immense historical value in the physical campus of UCT. And we don't need to lose that value in order to transform the institution itself. The fact is that a statue can be engaged with as a historical artifact, as the fact that the majority of the issues that have been raised here tonight are not in fact about the statue itself, but about institutional racism and institutional culture, which we can change while keeping that value. Thank you.
Got an alternate.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Good evening. My name's Adam Haupt. I've been at UCT for 13 years as a member of staff. What I'd like to say is that, first of all, in the 13 years I've been here, I haven't seen this kind of civic action on campus. Okay? I've seen many of these spaces being occupied by corporate, projects, various promotions on the steps. Very rarely are these spaces used for civic engagement. So I would like to congratulate the students. Last night I spent about 3-4 hours at Azania House. And I was invited as a black scholar to come in and drop knowledge in the hip-hop sense of the term, but I was being schooled. I didn't feel that I could speak. I felt that I needed to listen. I was humbled. I was shocked when I had informal discussions afterwards with students that many of the students were in fact undergraduates. I just assumed, they must be postgraduates, the level of sophistication, the way they can stay on point, take people apart. At one point, particular players were attempting to hijack the process. Those players got schooled, they got taken down. So kudos to you. I'm going to just make 2 points. Symbols matter. Signifiers matter. Symbols matter, signifiers matter, but this is just the beginning of the battle. I think what is important to be consistent, the other big battle is the way in which public institutions, which are funded by public funds and are meant for the public, the way those public institutions are infiltrated by neoliberal economic policy. Policy places a low premium on public spending so that government spends less on education, on welfare, on healthcare, etc., etc. Funding to universities has shrunk, And if you want to change this next generation and professionalize everyone and have engaged citizens, universities have a very crucial role to play. So beyond fighting the battle on campus, we should look to government and say to them, increase public spending. You're good at raising taxes, increase public spending and support universities in their efforts to transform. I thank you.
Hi. So,
Oh, there he is.
what does Marvin Gaye share in common with Eugene de Kock? And the answer is that white South Africa has no idea who either is. Now, when I was at a 50th birthday party on the weekend for my godparents, I started playing some Motown, and I got all these 55-year-old males coming up to me and saying, like, play some rock music. Similarly, 3 weeks ago, when Eugene de Kock was released from prison, I asked some of my friends, and these are kids who are clever. They've gone to good schools, they've got good grades, like Bishop's, Westerford. I said, who's Eugene de Kock? Blank faces. Now, with those two things in mind, I don't think it's surprising that we have a lot of white South Africans and white South Africans at UCT who find the idea of removing a statue that they think who they admire or they think represents their history is worrying. Now, I think that it's scary that UCT, being the best university in South Africa allegedly, that you can, in Africa allegedly, although it's not very African, is that you can, is that you can study economics at UCT for 3 years and leave with no idea of how South Africa's economy came into being, how Cecil Rhodes contributed to the compound system, migrant labor, pass laws, those sorts of things.
Last point.
Thank you. And similarly, I think it's a bad idea that there's such an emphasis on English as a first language. I think that basically my general point is white South Africans, myself included, must be forced to become more empathetic, and that's through education. And UCT, as an educational institution, is make sure that people are reading things like Chinua Achebe, like J.M. Coetzee, that during first year you have to do a compulsory diploma in an African language.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Cheers, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Makomo Tokomotso Malele, and I'm one of the people who is fighting against that Rhodes Memorial statue. I'm fighting against it because I myself am a person who has been left behind by that man and what that statue stands for. I could not read until I was in grade 3, but fortunately I stand here today doing a postgraduate in accounting. And I say to the Vice Chancellor, that the struggles that the black students in this hall, in this university, the so-called people that you say you want to fight for, the struggles that they have gone through and they continue to go through, that statue is what those struggles stand for. And for as long as that statue stands, that means that you are condoning these struggles that we are going through. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I call upon you and your leadership to stand up and take leadership. You stood here and you spoke about how transformation has fallen behind because you were building residences and you were trying to increase pass rates. But however, we are still dealing with low pass rates, academic exclusion, financial exclusion, and we are still homeless. We don't have enough places in residence. So what exactly have you done in your 2 terms if transformation has fallen by the wayside and I'm still saying? And so I'm done. And so, Mr. Vice Chancellor, as UCT has recently been called the flagship university of Africa, which means by definition that you are leading the definition of what an institution of higher learning is in Africa. That's a very important place to be, and you and your executive must understand that you are defining what an African university is. And I call upon you to stand up and take leadership. Do not divide us. Do not leave people behind just because you don't want to divide people in the movement of this country and this institution. I call upon you and your people to stand up and put your values and put your policies and implementation where your mouth is. Thank you. Amanda!
So,
I'm Denai Musandu, and I'm standing here as an international student, right? And one thing I have to say, I'm going to implore every single person in this room to remember that you are African. White, black, colored, Indian. How do you identify yourself? I'm a Zimbabwean, and I'm so pleased that there's a forum like this. But let me tell you one thing. If you are a white South African and you think that you can isolate yourself from being African and that statue outside doesn't bother you, you need to think twice, because the future is moving a lot faster than your consciousness. And I would like to implore my fellow international students, yes, the fees is expensive, yes, it's painful, but you are African. Cecil took from you too. Join with your fellow South Africans and help them too. And the black South Africans, you too, rise up. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Let him fall.
Good evening, Chair. My name is Dindokuhle Patiwe. Ukhade bumthi mkhulu lenhlo zombini masho wathi kodwa kodwa zayo. Chair, I don't know, like that lady just took everything. But I was going, she pointed something I was going to point out, the issue of we must engage because the demographics are still against the people wanted the statue removed. This is an issue of ethics. If we are still behind, you will follow us afterwards. We will follow us. And I would like to say something to Dr. Price. Dr. Price, it's very problematic the way you engage with us. First of all, you are engaging with us in your terms. I was there at Kramer the last time. One of the people in the audience advised you that you must start listening to us. First of all, if you listen to your speech, you keep telling us that we must engage in this way, must engage in this way. When we came to Azania House, you ran away. I have not seen you in your office this whole time. We've been sleeping there, we don't see you. The statue, and another thing is, in your statement, you keep saying that the statue must move from its current position. As if this implies that you do not want it to remove out of the campus. And it must be removed out of the campus at all. That's not out of the campus. It must not move to smart, or it must move out of the campus. Out.
Hey, we can see they like that mic. They must just be careful there.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. So, once upon a time, before I came to UCT, when I was in primary school, I was taught, and to some extent that was brainwashed, that Rhodes was a great man, a businessman, a very successful businessman, who had ambitions of constructing a rail line from Cape Town to Cairo. Okay, so the first time I came to UCT and encountered that statue, that prompted me to actually learn more about who Rhodes was. And in all fairness, and with all due respect to everyone here, white or black, Rhodes is actually the opposite, the exact opposite of what justice is the exact opposite of what equal rights is the exact opposite of what peace is. And for a university, at least at this time, that prides itself in being a staunch proponent of equal rights and justice, I find it strange that this university still harbors the Rhodes Statue in this campus. Therefore, my humble opinion is that this Rhodes Statue must be removed.
Hi. I must say it's one hell of a thing to be a black woman standing on this podium with Rhodes still there. But I want to mention something that I'm not sure Dr. Price quite understands. This movement is not just about a statue. It's not just about a university. It's not just about a curriculum. It's not just about land. It's about reclaiming black history as well. And though I'm doing my small part by standing on a podium after all those difficulties UCT has for people like me, I want to remind you, Max Price, that you shouldn't be caught on the wrong side of history. And what we're doing here is changing the world. But in case you still don't know where to find us, at Azania House. Please come so we can teach you what Africa will look like in the future.
All right. My name is Ererwani Ramugondo. I'm a staff member. I've been a staff member at UCT since 1998. I want to point out that liberalism hides under the principle of academic freedom. On the radio this afternoon, I heard our Vice Chancellor highlight this principle as underlying the work of the university, including curriculum. This principle, however, presupposes that all are equal in the system. Yet, we still face coloniality every day. I heard today from students who were told that they could not bring the debate about the statue into a master's course. Essentially, they cannot bring the reality they live into their academic work and potential research. These students were also reminded that this is not Central Africa.
One more. 30 seconds.
But Cape Town. So African time will not be tolerated. These students had not uttered a word before all these things were said. So my question is, does the Vice Chancellor have a responsibility, firstly, to acknowledge the pervasive nature of coloniality, and secondly, to call it out?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Patricia Bevy. I am past staff at this institution, have been for the past 6 years. I might not articulate myself the way the academics do. We can't all be academics. I'm not an academic, but I'm here to support the academics. I want to say UCT does not protect the workers. We have the mere fact that we outsource the cleaners, the gardeners, the kitchen staff, and UCT say that's not our core business. Our core business is to support academics, to ensure that they put us where we want to be as a world-class institution. And we cannot do that with the past off as well. It is our plea to the Vice-Chancellor, to UCT leadership, protect us, allow us to add value to this institution that we are proud of. As an individual, I want to say to the staff, to the pastor that's sitting here this evening, don't be fearful of speaking out. This is our institution. We need to protect and look out for the best interest and do things in the best interest of this institution. And you know, there's a pattern we face as Nahawu. I'm also the chair of UCT Nahawu, and as a union, we face situations daily of people being oppressed, bullying, discrimination, people leaving this institution because they cannot escalate anymore. Like, where must we go? We went to the Ambut, we went up to the VC. Me personally went up to the VC with issues where you highlight issues they don't. There's too few people in this institution that's been protected, and we say we want equality, we want consistency. What is for the one goes for the other. The people that's given authority that's got no more power than we have, because this is our institution and we're going to claim it. Thank you.
Molweni, I don't think there's a need for me to say my name. It doesn't matter in this context. I am very grateful, first of all, to Utata Umakwele. We had this conversation before the Poo riot. And then I was afraid that this movement might be stolen or hijacked by the neoliberal public relations, and that they will push their own agenda, and it won't be about us anymore, the students, those who are sitting in class and who are confronted with the ghost. So I'm going back to the ghost concept. The ghost concept is a colonial ghost that is amongst us now, that is in that statue, that is in the curriculum, that our lecturers, vice-chancellors, all those who are in the higher seats are afraid of. You go to a lecture, you say, okay, there's something wrong with the course content. You stand up and say, no, I didn't make the course. You go to your professors, they still don't know what's going on. So who is this ghost? Who is this ghost that controls the curriculum of UCT? If we are all liberals, we love our cats, we love nature so much, we should care about our fellow human beings. Enough is enough.
Amandla! Long live the spirit of Steve Biko, long live! Long live the spirit of Robert Mugabe, long live! Long live the spirit of Patrice Lumumba, long live! Long live the spirit of Thomas Sankara, long live! We are here, my fellow students, simply because we are engaged in a historical moment right now. And I'm saying to all the students that have engaged in this process right now, is that we as black students in the University of Cape Town are struggling because we can no longer breathe. And we want to breathe. We want our breathing space because white supremacy does not see the black bodies. What I'm saying is this: we in ourselves have the spirit of Mushweshwe. We have the spirit of Shaka. We have the spirit of Himsa. Therefore, we must continue to fight.
We must continue to fight
Please
because when we remove the statue of Rhodes, we remove the burden that is sitting on our shoulders so that we can
Thank you.
return the land to its rightful people. Amandla!
You can take them out of the bush, but you obviously can't take the bush out of them. Morons, animals, Jan Riebeck's skull, stupid monkeys. But today we are here to say that the existence of every black face, Indian face, colored face exists and is important. We will no more subscribe to what that statue says to us, that we do not exist. We will not subscribe to what this institution propagates of being colorblind. We demand to be seen. We demand to exist. And we say that this will not happen on our watch, but it will happen on your hands. Dr. Ms. Price, blood is on your hands. Blood is on your hands. Blood is on your hands.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Before I maybe go into the main issue I want to speak about, I want to remind the Vice Chancellor that I sent him an 8-page document on taking transformation seriously end of last year, which your receptionist responded to having received, and I never got anything back, which is fine. But the reason I wrote that is because after tackling racism and the systematic oppression that this institution continues to perpetuate, I went through a very depressive episode, right? So I am one in, I don't know, whatever percentage of black people that have maybe taken the route of coming to you respectfully and trying to understand what the system is trying to achieve, and we get ignored. So there is now poo on the statue. We're barbarics. Anyway, when I speak about the importance of black lecturers at this institution, for me, I'm not too concerned about pigmentation. I just have more melanin than you. So the issue, especially when it comes to literal and creative subjects, is that a lot of white lecturers fail to understand the way we write or express ourselves. And any form of education that does not allow you to express yourself is mental slavery. So I need to understand before I make a decision to complete my degree, is me getting a degree a form of mental colonization so that I conform to systems? And if it is, let me know so that I do deregister and maybe go back to my rural area and be free to express myself.
Thank you. Before, you see, that microphone is a problem, you see. So we are fighting time. So I'm going to stop by the gentleman in the red shirt there, and I apologize, not everyone will get to speak today, but your voices have been heard and they will continue to be heard. We're going to start we'll end there by the gentleman in the red, and then all the other voices that we've noted will then speak, and then we're ending the session because we also have tests this week. And we must be conscious of that. We must also pass. We can't just complain and talk and talk and talk. We know what we want.
Amandla. Amandla. Phambili ngedabi labafundi phambili. Phambili ngedabi labasebenzi phambili. Omileyo kule ndawo igama lakhe nguslave. Ngumsebenzi e-UCT. Usebenza phansi kwekhampani elapha e-UCT. Ungumcoci i-cleaner. Ndime apha ndibulaleka. Ngoba e-UCT ayikho lento ekuthiwa i-real transformation. Ngoba thina singabacoci siphila kwixesha apho sijongene noku-intimidatewa, siyavictimizwa, asonwabanga. Umvuzo wethu ngowendlala, sigoduka nemali yendlala. Kudala sisima phambi komso kaMax Price, siquliqulo elinye sisithi sidiniwe zi-outsource e-UCT. Makazikhuphe sifuna ukuyinsoswa, sifuna the living wage 10,000. Thank you.
Hello. Amanda. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Vice Chancellor, I picked this one up from Baleke, so some of you might be familiar. And our prestigious president. Oh, what's going on now? Our prestigious president, Ramabina Mahapa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to talk to Dr. Max Price. I've flown a very long way to be here with you guys today, all the way from Johannesburg. I'm a former student of UCT and former SRC member, and I can tell you that, trust me, I feel your pain. First of all, students, I need to tell you something. This varsity doesn't care about you. They are not going to help you, and they're not going to listen to you. They've never listened to students before 1994 and still after 1994. This is not a culture that was started now. It predated us, it predated them. It is up to us, it is up to you to change things. I can tell you I'm very proud of what you're doing right now, but you need to know that this cannot stop. The road is very long. They will not listen to you. All they care about is these cameras and looking good for their media. And I want you to remember one thing. This is not about this varsity. It's about this country. It's about our world. Dr. Max Price and his management are not the only people who have failed us. Yes. It is all of our elders who have not addressed these issues. Mm-hmm. And to the management, I warn you, and I will never warn you again. Please, please learn to listen to the students before it is too late. Thank you.
Thanks, Rabo.
Yeah, hello to everybody. You see, guys, I'm not good at politics, so you'll have to forgive me. You don't have to clap or do anything. You see, I want to get practical. You see, I've been here for many years, man. And when you talk of discrimination at UCT, I've seen it all. And I've got one case that is pending, I've got 3 pending. And one is waiting for the VC to see before I take it to court. Because that's police. I must see him first. If I'm not satisfied, then I take it to court. There's 3 pending cases, and one is waiting for him to get back to office as I'm talking. You see? So when you talk of discrimination at UCT, I've seen it all. And I'm challenging the VC. If he says there's no discrimination, there's nothing, let me print everything, my documents, my emails and everything, and give to the media so that people can decide. I'm challenging them.
I've got up to 30 pages because I've been here for many years. I've seen I don't know how many letters I've written to these guys, emails, affidavits, I don't know. I've lost count. I challenge you, the VC, you deny what I'm saying. No, UCT is a nice place. Let me print everything and give to
30
the media,
seconds.
and the people can decide. Yeah, thanks.
The reason why you find very racist comments on the social network, like saying Europe civilized Africa, is because of the curriculum that is promoted here in UCT. African studies is treated as an extracurricular. You only get it at a postgrad level. Last year, I only got to know about Cecil Rhodes when I was doing South African political thought. But now, because they're saying that many students are getting conscious, they've moved it to a master's level. So what is the management saying about that? That is the only thing I want you to ask.
I am Darlene Miller, Dr. Darlene Miller. I am staff at UCT. Unfortunately, I'm temporary staff, a lecturer in sociology department. I graduated from UCT with a BA degree. I did my honors at Wits University. I was the top of the class. I got a distinction. In 1994, well after the international universities cared to give scholarships to radical black South Africans, in 1996, I won a scholarship to Johns Hopkins University. It's the number 18 university globally ranked in the world. And I completed a doctorate successfully there. I have been trying for 6 years to get a job, a simple permanent job at a university, at a sociology department in South Africa. Since 2008, I have been trying. What I want to ask the students is, I've often, and I didn't greet you, Mulweni Abantwana Bam, my apologies. What I want to ask of you is to consider requesting an urgent data bank that will be put together of all the academics that they say they cannot find to teach you. I was the founder member of an organization called Women's Academic Solidarity Association at Rhodes University. I've done research in 6 different African countries, including South Africa. We have the knowledge. We are there to teach you. We are willing to be with you. I want to share my pain with you. In order to teach you, I've taken a salary of 9,600 Rand per month.
Okay, please respect the speaker. Please respect the speaker. Thank you.
I'm 53 years old, and I've held senior positions in international organizations. So what I'm saying to you, that data bank, if we simply go to the Women's Academic Solidarity Association, we know women all across government, science councils. Some have left and gone overseas. The environment has been so hostile for us that we have left the universities. Welcome us back, Abantwana Bam. We will come.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you overcome with a very deep sadness. That today I must stand before you and stand before management, appealing to you to see me, to legitimize my struggle, to prove to you that I have suffered. I feel so humiliated and undermined by this entire process. I've been in the house of Azania with my comrades and my sisters and my friends. And we have been inboxed. We have been getting wall posts, people asking us to stop being racist. When I dare to say I am black, I am racist. When I dare to say I have suffered because I am black, I'm spreading racist hate. When a comrade pours pota pota over a man who colonized, he is barbaric, and yet I go back to Soweto, to that pota pota, when this imagined dream of a rainbow nation ends in June. When I demand to shape my own institution, when I demand this institution to tell my narrative, I am spreading racist hate, I am malicious, I am barbaric, I should be kicked out, I don't deserve to be here. One guy says, let's prank them. Someone needs to dress up as the statue, and when they're doing their thing around it, they need to get a shock of their life when it comes alive. It'll be hilarious. Black lives don't matter at UCT.
My name is Rorisang Musedi. I am a second year and I am in the commerce faculty. And I think the dangerous precedent that was set by Mandela and his leadership was that everything that needs to do with black pain needs a negotiation as to whether it's valid or not. I think when you have faculty councils who think that they need to run a poll to see whether or not black pain is valid, and then they will act. What I am saying to management, what I am saying to UCT's management, is that just because there are black people in this room right now, what you have thought this is a discussion, a debate, a meeting of the minds, no, it's not. Black people have been negotiating with you for a very long time. And it is time, us as black students, we're taking a stand and we are looking for the justice for our people that our previous leaders did not acquire. And we are saying that we are here, this is our space, and we are tired of asking that you must see us and that this space needs to include us, because we will make you include us whether you like it or not.
Good evening. I am lucky enough to call myself a born free. Yet we sit here today, locked in a battle about equality. And I ask, how can our miracle country be back where it started? How did this happen, and how do we fix it? It's these three simple questions that I believe every person needs to ask themselves, as this country belongs to the 52,980,000 odd people that call it their home. It is up to each one of us to be the change that we want to see in our country. We all need to embrace equality in our lives. Equality needs to be something fundamental. We should not need to question or even think about it. I want to be friends with whoever. I want to love whoever. And I want to be whoever. But this cannot happen as it stands. I cannot be whoever I want to be. And I know that most of the people here cannot be who they want to be. People are constantly judged, oppressed, and abused for who they are. Even after 21 years, people are still mistreated and hurt based on the color of their skin. Despite our best attempts, oppression still exists. However, unlike the past, it is no longer a two-sided affair. Oppression no longer exists due to the laws of our country. It has changed. It is wrong to associate me to think that I'm the oppressor by the virtue of my skin. It is not fair to associate me. It is not fair to associate me with the people who do not believe in equality. So ask yourself, who are the oppressors and who is being oppressed? We get to choose whether we believe and stand for equality in our lives. Do I know what each of your lives is like? No, I do not. I have not lived your life, but I have lived mine. I have dealt with my own challenges and pains, and I have my own feelings. Walking past that statue reminds me of an oppressive...
Sorry, I think you are now abusing the mic. We have been generous. We have asked you to close. So last point. I know you've written it down, but just...
I am not proud of the past, but I am proud to share the future with every single one of you.
Evening, everybody. My name is Puleng Stewart, and I come before you today a little bit raggedy. This morning, we are performers, so we came and we performed our struggle for Upper Campus because it seems like that's the only way to get people to really hear us, because words seem insufficient so often. So to see something obviously seems to make an impact, which is great because that's what we do. But what I'm urging people is to come and see what it looks like when people believe in the change enough to make it. No matter what they're being told, we occupied a building because we said the way that we are being taught is insufficient. The structures are oppressive. This is a debate about pedagogy. It's about how we teach. The structures in what we say is relevant knowledge, and saying that the European frame is the best that we can do for our people is saying that we are lacking a fundamental amount of creativity. And within Azania House right now, there is an immense amount of creativity, and I want you to know that that space is an educational space. What is happening is that we are deciding to take on our education for the lack of structural improvement that we are getting. So, and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal, the debates that are coming out. The people that are willing to come and speak to us, the lecturers are there. The lecturers who we want to teach us have arrived. The thing is that we can create that space without you. You can just make it easier. We do not have to leave. We do not have to leave. So I just wanted to say that I know that a lot of it is a lot of the apathy, which we are really struggling against, because there is so much apathy. It is loud how silent some people are, you know? So I know that a lot of that apathy comes from either a fear or a lack of understanding. But the thing is that that's not acceptable, because the space that we have made is one that is inviting people to come and engage and create discourse, and that is also saying you don't have to agree, but ask. No one has been turned away unless they came and took down our signs and, was actively trying to be confrontational. But it is an open forum, and I urge people to try to engage with this discourse, because this is history and it's phenomenal. What is being talked about is phenomenal. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Let me start by saying something I said to some of the student leadership, that I wasn't going to come here tonight. I wasn't going to come here tonight because I stopped explaining myself to white people over certain things a long time ago. And I stopped in the 1980s explaining myself to white people on racism. Period. On issues that are intellectual and everything, I will engage. But I will not justify myself on the vulgarity of Cecil Rhodes' legacy and how it deformed this country. Number two, the position that you are in now. I was in this position and many of us were in this position in the 1980s. I was a student at a liberal university in the 1980s called Wits University. It was exactly the same situation that you were in. The white students, the majority couldn't care less about our struggle. Okay? They couldn't care less, and all of those people who were at university at Wits in the 1980s know what I'm talking about. Okay? They chased us, they insulted us, but we never stopped. Because when it comes to truth-telling, and were it not for that truth-telling, we wouldn't be here today. They wouldn't be having the freedom to insult you. And so be very clear that this place here, this society here, is what it is because black folk fought for it. They fought for it with white counterparts. But you must never let anybody tell you that this is not our creation and that you don't have a right to this place, that your ancestors didn't build this place. But I want to say something that nobody has said here, and I want to address myself to the Vice Chancellor. You know, Max? Wait. No. Wait. I want to talk to you, my brother, as a parent. I have been thinking about this thing as a parent for the past week. And I've been saying to myself, these are other people's children. And to see you being abused the way you've been abused without the protection of the university. In fact, having to go through this whole thing, I've taken off my hat as an academic. And I've been thinking to myself, but these are other people's children. And I would like the university to take off all of this defensive intellectual guard and just look at these children as other people's children. Let me end on this. You guys have shown this university, you've called this university out. You have shown, I've been with you for the past week or so. The level of intellectual rigor I have seen in your presence, in your company, has blown me away. And don't let nobody tell you anything else. Okay?
30 seconds.
And finally, Max, I want to say, I find it racially offensive whenever the issue of black professors comes up and you are asked about it. The issue of standards must find itself into that. I find it really, really racially offensive. I really do. And so I am not here to justify myself to my colleagues. I went to the same schools as they did and to even better schools. Okay? I am not here to justify myself to anybody. And we should not, as black people, whenever anybody talks about us academics, inject standards. In any event, let me end on this. Okay? You guys are the leadership. You are the intellectual leadership. You've called this place out. You've upped the bar. And the country and the world is looking at you for leadership.
Okay.
Tina Stolega Namapula Ebulan. Bayana se, Namapula Ebulan. Ay. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. Namapula Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Hey. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Namapula Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. Ay. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Tina Stolega Cha. Ay. Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. Bayana se. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar, Iazane alizele, Solitata nge pasoga, Iazane alizele, Solitata nge rashasha. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. Iazane alizele, Solitata nge pasoka. Iazane alizele, Solitata nge pasoka. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. From Kenya alizele, Solitata nge pasoka. Iazane to Cairo. Iazane alizele, Solitata nge pasoka. Ingoke to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. Iazane alizele,
solithatha ngebazo iyazane alizwele solithatha niyalizwele ubethe izwelethu awuvume moya wa vume moya wa vume moya wa awuvume moya wa vume moya wa vume moya wa tulinya kal umoya wa muya tulinye bes umoya wa muya fume moya wa muya fume tulunga kal umoya wa muya tulinye bes umoya wa muya fume moya wa fume moya wa fume moya wa fume moya wa awe mama we mama we mama we mama we mama we mama we ay tolo nakal mama we 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 ay Rhodes will fall mama iyo tulunga kal mama we sulinye bes mama we iyo ay Rhodes will fall mama we phathe bafika 7 iyo mama we mama